Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little while, so I'm excited to be back to filming. And today's topic is all about Colombia. So I know that Colombia may not be the first destination that you think of when it comes to traveling, especially with your kids. The country certainly has a bit of a rough reputation with a history of, drug issues and violence, but I'm here to tell you that Colombia is actually a great tourist destination, very family friendly, and certainly nothing like the Colombia of the past. So I've been twice in the last year, both times to the same destination, Cartagena. And Cartagena is a coastal city that has a strong colonial history. There's an old wall, an old town area. It used to be the site of some pirate battles. It's actually really cool from a history point of view. And also has a really beautiful sandbar type strip that runs through the neighborhoods of Boca Grande, La Laguito, and is a great place to go and stay close to the beach. So I've done both types of Cartagena trips. My first trip was a solo trip to the old city. I didn't really go to the beach other than a quick walk, just checking out the history, the food, the architecture. And really, it was a trial run to see if Colombia would be a safe and suitable destination to bring my family. Well, long story short, I had a great time, and I returned this spring with my wife and kids and a friend of ours, and we stayed in a beachfront condo for about 5 or 6 days. We explored the old city a little bit, but really our focus was on taking in the neighborhood of Boca Grande and going to the beach. So for anybody who's apprehensive or nervous about going to Colombia or maybe doesn't have any experience traveling to Latin America, I'll just start off with some safety tips, and these are really consistent across the board for most travel, but definitely essential when traveling to Latin America. So the first thing is to make sure that you stay in a decent neighborhood. Do your research. In Cartagena, for example, you are very safe if you stay in Boca Grande, La Laguito. You can stay in the old town without issue. But there's another neighborhood which is actually really cool and artistic called Getsemani, just across the main road from the old town. And it's beautiful, but I've heard that not a great place to stay at night. So if you're going to Getsemani, it's recommended that you take a taxi, say to a restaurant, go to the restaurant and come back, or that you explore with the help of a local or a guide, or definitely in the daytime if you're a little more adventurous and you're going on your own. So just keep neighborhood in mind when you're selecting where you're staying. Read reviews. Be particularly careful with Airbnb, since unlike hotels where they're usually concentrated in the safer neighborhoods, you're staying in someone's house. So you could be in a very local neighborhood, and in a place like Cartagena, you have to be mindful of that as well. That's the first safety tip. The second safety tip is to be careful with your transportation. So in Colombia in general, it's advised not to take street taxis, not to hail a taxi on the street. Official taxis from the airport are safe. They're not metered, so be sure that you discuss the price in advance. From the airport to the old town, you could expect to pay around 20,000 pesos, and it's roughly 4,000 pesos to the dollar. So it's about $5 for that trip. I recommend Uber in Cartagena. It's readily available. You know who's coming for you. The cars are usually in good condition. They're nice, they're air conditioned, and you can get a fair price that's charged directly to your credit card and there's no cash involved. So Uber is certainly the way to go. It's pretty affordable. Most of my trips around the city were somewhere between $2 and $4, rarely spending more than $5. Third, make sure that you're careful if you're walking around at night. It's perfectly safe to walk in the old town at night, especially if you're in the main area near Plaza de los Coches, or even just walking down some of the streets with shops and restaurants where there'll be a ton of people and vendors, etc. Be careful walking outside of the old town at night. It can be a little, I don't even want to say dangerous, but more like deserted, where you may end up alone in a particular area. And so you just want to be mindful of that. As I said, transportation's cheap, so why not just get an Uber to your destination, and for a few dollars, you can increase your safety. Another issue around Latin America is the theft of mobile phones, especially iPhones. So you want to take some precautions here as well. The first major thing I recommend is to just check your back if you're going to be taking your phone out to take pictures, especially in crowded, busy tourist areas. It's very easy for someone to grab your phone out of your hands if you're doing this, taking a picture, and not mindful of your surroundings. So just check your back, check who's around, take your phone out, do your picture taking, your filming, and then put your phone away. I recommend a zippered pocket for your phone, as opposed to like wearing it around your neck where it's an easy target for theft. Be careful with bags as well. I suggest dropping everything off at your hotel or your apartment and just carrying the essentials. So a wallet in a front pocket or a handbag in front of you, never behind or on your side. Don't carry around your passport. Carry a photocopy of your passport because sometimes you do need your ID in Colombia, but I don't recommend carrying your passport around. Money, again, withdraw cash. Most hotels and accommodations have safes. Keep extra cash in the safe. Bring around, I would recommend no more than 1 or 2 credit cards and some cash. Probably no more than, I would say, 100,000 pesos. You really don't need to walk around with more than that. And try to get small bills when you can for street vendors, etc. So you're not asking for change and making yourself an easy target for somebody to think that you have a lot of money on you. You know, if you whip out these very high value bills, you may gain some unwanted attention. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in terms of safety tips. I guess the other one is to try to blend in whenever possible. It's difficult as an American or Canadian tourist, especially when you're walking around in shorts and a t-shirt. You're speaking English very loudly in the street. You are going to garner some attention. So it's not always possible to blend in, but you don't want to be showing up looking like a Hollywood movie star, dressed to the nines, wearing jewelry, wearing expensive watches, waving your iPhone around. You want to be sensible in that way and be a little bit discreet so that you're not marking yourself as an easy target for theft. 2 more tips related to safety in a place like Cartagena. So the first is to be mindful of beggars, street hustlers, street vendors. Most of them are fine and they're part of the local charm, but there are some different tactics that you'll see. So for example, there are these people who want to serenade you with rap music or other songs and then will ask for money. It's better not to lead them on. They may try to follow you around. Just say no gracias, which means no thank you in Spanish. No quiero, I don't want, or even no, no, no. And don't make eye contact, keep walking, move along, and they will quickly move on to somebody else because you're not going to be a very lucrative person for them. It's better to avoid buying stuff in the street in terms of souvenirs and objects. It's certainly fine to buy street snacks or drinks, etc., especially from vendors who are not hassling you, but who are just standing there and occupying their usual space. But you just want to be mindful in the street about who you're buying stuff from, who you're talking to, and make sure you're mindful of your valuables while you're talking to somebody. And also just keeping general awareness anytime you take out your wallet or money in the street. And finally, I recommend staying somewhere with security. So this will be pretty standard if you stay in a hotel. If you rent an Airbnb, apartment, or house, you want to stay somewhere where there is some kind of lobby security. And in Colombia, most places will advertise this. So we stayed in a beachfront condo, 21st floor. So that was great from a security standpoint because we were high up. And also the building had 24-hour lobby security. We had to pay for it. I think we paid $5 for the entire group for a week. Definitely worthwhile. And if the place has a safe, keep your valuables in the safe. If it doesn't, I suggest hiding and spreading out your valuables and really not carrying your passport around. Now, there are some stories about people being harassed by police in Colombia. It's not common in Cartagena, from what I understand, but sometimes the police will come and ask you for ID. And if you can't produce ID, then they may, or even if you produce ID, they may make up some story and ask you for a bribe to get them to go away. So this never happened to me, but what I was recommended to do is just tell them that you will go to the police station and discuss with them there, not in the street. And also in general, if you are in need of assistance, it's best to contact the individuals who have tourist police uniforms. In Spanish, Policía del Turismo, meaning they are a special police force that is geared towards assisting foreigners. They're everywhere in Cartagena. If you go elsewhere in Colombia, they may be less common, but if you can locate them, they typically speak English or, at least understand English to some extent, and in most cases are not corrupt, are paid a decent salary, and can be trusted, obviously with caution, but definitely better than just going to a regular police officer to ask for assistance. Okay, so now we've talked a lot about safety. I just want to add a couple of caveats. The first is that I haven't been anywhere in Colombia other than Cartagena, and the reputation that Cartagena has is that it's always been one of the safest places in the country, far from the jungles where people used to go and seek refuge during times of civil war and drug violence, etc. So I can't speak for the rest of the country. I've been told that Medellin, or as the Colombians say, Medellin, is another great destination in the mountains. Maybe a little less safe, but certainly fine if you keep your wits about you. The capital, Bogota, has definitely mixed reviews. So I've been told you have to be extra careful with theft in Bogota, especially if you're in a car, in traffic. There are these incidents where there might be armed robbery through the window of a stopped car. Some people say it's common, other people say it's fine. I would certainly approach Colombia with kind of a gradual approach. So first trip that we took was to Cartagena. We liked it. We felt safe. We didn't have any issues. I think the next time we go, we'll go to Medellin. And then if Medellin is good, we may venture to Bogota, just making sure that we research the neighborhood, how we're going to get around, and keep our wits about us. So have a great day. See you soon. Take care.